Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to your live Investment Dominator Q&A call. My name is Warren Davis, and I'm so happy to be here with you here on a beautiful Monday. It is let's see, it's the 5th of April, 2021, here at 5 p.m., and we're going to be hopefully getting your questions addressed. And as you are aware, this is our time when we'll be going through for beginning setup of the Investment Dominator and what we'd like to have you set up before you start doing business. And if you're planning on coming on the next 2.5-day Investment Dominator workshop, that's going to begin April 20th, Tuesday, April 20th at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. We'll be kicking off another 2.5-day workshop. That being said, before we get into explaining any more or ask any questions, I want to make sure you can see my screen, hear my voice, and hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. My indicators show that I am, but I like to make sure that no one's having any audio issues and that you can see my screen. If you're brand new with us for the first time, there's quite a few on the call today. So if you are brand new, and you want to know how to send in your questions, there's a control box that you have, obviously, and you can just type in the question. It would really help me a lot. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate knowing you can hear me okay. And hopefully you see my screen too. Those of you that want to send in your questions, if you could, which would help me greatly, if you put a question, the word question, in front of your question. Yeah, that's one way I can distinguish questions from comments. Or you can put the letter Q in front of your question there, so that Q and maybe a colon, so then I can determine that these are questions rather than comments. And or you can put a question mark. That also helps us to be able to distinguish between questions and comments. And then just hit send and the question will pop up and I'll be able to see that. Let me check to see who we have online with us today. Okay, so I'm looking specifically for another staff member, but I don't see him online today. So anyway, as I've shared with you before, we're going to have I have a partner working with me named Dominique, and he's going to be actually taking over this particular position at one point, and at least on the Monday evenings, sharing what we call the Big Three. So always glad to have him on. Okay. So this is for the Investment Dominator. You're here today, and we're going to go on and start getting your questions answered. If you have questions that you type in today, people, I will get to those as soon as possible. Typing in questions today. If it's around the big three items that I'm going to be explaining and sharing with you, we want to get those questions answered immediately, because those are, a lot of you may be coming to our 2.5-day workshop on the 20th of this month, and we want to make sure that you're all set up as much as possible. So let's go on and kick it off with what we call the big three. The first part of the very big three is going to be under your profile. Now, this is very crucial that you have the big three set up prior to coming to the 2.5-day workshop. If you don't have that set up, I'll just start saying it right now. There'll be exercises that you won't be able to participate in as well. Not that you can't do the workshop, but it's just you'll be missing out on the learning of several exercises without having your website set up, without having your profile set up or your company information. So the first of the big three is the profile, and this is what we call a personal profile. I'll use this account for this demonstration. This is a personal profile where we want to see your first name, your last name, and an email address. Okay, and this can be personal because your personal profile won't be sent out for marketing purposes. It won't be sent out to any customers. No customers will ever see it. So in case we need to know the best way to get in touch with you, we'd like to have a good email address for you and a personal phone number. This can be a cell phone or it can be a landline, whichever you choose. Then we'd also appreciate you putting in your time zone so that we know not to call you at, if you're on the West Coast, we won't call you at some ungodly hour. And so we'd appreciate you putting in your time zone. And then the other items that you can do, or functions that you can do on the profile, is you can change your password that you're using to log into the account, and you can enable and disable the tour that pops up when you're brand new to Investment Dominator. The most important aspect of the profile is going to be your signature. So this here is where your signature should be. If you want to upload a signature, it's got to be a JPEG or a JPG file, or a .gif or a PNG format file. And then you can upload a signature. You have one of two ways that you can bring in your signature: either upload your signature or generate a signature. This is a generated signature because I don't write that well. So this is this is definitely a generated signature. If you choose to upload a signature, this will be one that you have on your computer, and we'll see if we can bring one up here on your computer. So you have to have it somewhere where you can get at it. It's in a file as we forestated. Let's see. Here we go. So if I have this Warren Davis signature here, and you see it's in a JPG file, right? So I can just double click on that, and the system is immediately going to have me crop my signature. And this is what a lot of folks object to about this feature, is because the cropping tool a lot of times does not get all of their signature because their signature may be too long or too high. But if your signature fits as mine does here, then you can crop the entire signature, and then you scroll down and just hit confirm, and it will bring that signature in. Now, once they bring in the signature, keep in mind Investment Dominator will only allow you to have one signature at a time. So one question we get all the time is, well, can we have more than one signature since I'm going to have more than one person working in our account? And the answer is no. For each profile, each person that logs in must have their own profile. So if you have a husband and wife, the husband would have his, the wife will have her profile. You also have to have different email addresses. You cannot have the same email address for the same account. Investment Dominator won't allow that. Then you'll have to have, a different phone number and your different signature. So now that I brought this signature in, if I hit update here, it's going to wipe out, you see my generated, and this will be the signature now that goes out on my neutral letters, or that goes out on any other documents out of Investment Dominator. That's one way to bring in a signature. The second way is you can hit generate signature, and all you have to do is type in your name and select a font. So one of the questions we get a lot is, Warren, can I upload my own font to Investment Dominator because I have a special font that I like? Sorry, we can't do that. There's only 7 fonts here that you can choose from. Hopefully you'll choose one that fits your liking. Now at this point, we recommend that you keep it black and white, but if you don't keep it black and white, you can have color. All you do is left click on this color bar, and then you'll see this color spectrum come up, and then I'm going to slide the bar over to whichever area, I think meets my fancy. And then once you get to that area, then select some specific shade. And as you can see, this color circle gets populated. Once that's done, that means this is the color your signature is going to be. You simply click outside the box there, and the system changes it to that color. It's just that simple. All right, then you hit the insert signature, and as you can see, now it's going to bring in my generated signature. This is the last signature I had, so when I hit update, that's going to be the signature that's in place. So that's basically all there is to setting up your profile and setting up a signature. And we give you a couple options there. All right, that's the first of the big three. Number two of the big three is actually under customize. I'll go back to this account. Okay, and like I say, we'll get your questions. You have some good questions coming in. We'll get those questions right after we get finished presenting the big three in its entirety. Okay, so here under customize, and then you'll hit company information. We're going to go into company information. This is the second of the big three. So basically, before I start talking about your phone information, which there are three phones represented here, I'm going to talk about your company email address. Okay. I want you to have an email address associated with your company where we want all of your correspondence to go to. All right, just one email address. So questions we get a lot, Warren, can it be a Gmail account? Can it be a Yahoo account? It absolutely can. It does not have to be one of those more expensive email accounts like you purchase from your domain provider. You do not have to purchase like a .com unless you want your company name or something like that. But you can have a Gmail account or a Yahoo account. It works just fine, just so that people know how to get in touch with your company. Have a company name here. And do you need to run out and set up an LLC right now? No, you don't. However, it's good to be working on an LLC so that you can have your company name put in here. Now, if you don't have a company name, it's okay. You can put in here for the time being DBA, doing business as, and just type your name in. And that will suffice as a company name for right now. But we do recommend that you do your best to set up an LLC as quickly as possible. Okay. Your company address here is the address other than your home address. Please don't use your home address here for a company address. And a lot of folks say, well, why not, Warren? And it's because sometimes, we don't want any sellers or buyers to ever know where you live. And this company address is going to go out, let's say on your neutral letters that go out of Investment Dominator, different documents that go out, this company address is going to show up. We don't want them sending you anything that you wouldn't want. We don't want them dropping by your house, to tell you about that lowball offer that you sent them that they're not happy about. So please don't put in your home address here. Also, it doesn't look professional to put in P.O. box and then some number for your P.O. box. Now you may have a P.O. box at a local UPS store, but what we're asking is that you put the address of that local UPS store. Do not put your P.O. box in your company address. And then obviously we want your city, state, and zip code of the actual UPS store that houses your P.O. box. Hope that's clear. So as I say, you can put in DBA here. So that's the first point. And then when we talk about your phone information, there are three phones that are represented here. You have a company phone and you have an offer phone. Those are the first two I'm going to talk about. And the reason I'm singling these out is because these are your sellers of property. Your company phone is going to go out on your neutral letters that go out of Investment Dominator. That's the first communication that lets folks know, hey, I'm interested in purchasing your property. All right, that's your company phone. Your offer phone, when someone responds to your neutral letter and they say, oh, yes, I'm interested in getting an offer on my property, your offer phone, then whichever phone number is associated with that offer phone will go out for all of the offers that you send out of Investment Dominator. So, and as you can see, I've got extension 1 here, Pat Live, Smith AI. You don't need to put all of this information when you populate this phone. Just put the phone number. This is simply for me to explain that the way we're going to recommend you set up your phone system, this is just one configuration, is called Ring Central. Ring Central can give you one phone number, but two extensions. So as you can see here, I have an extension 1 and I have extension 2. So you'd have a voicemail that would come on and say when they select this number, you see this number is the same as this offer phone number. These two numbers are the same, but they're two extensions. You have a voicemail that would come on and say, "Hi, this is Warren Davis of XYZ Company. Sorry, can't take your call in person. Press extension 1 if you wish to sell us your property." So they're responding to a neutral letter that they have received. Once they hit extension 1, if you so desire, that call can be forwarded to Pat Live, which is a call center, or Smith AI, which is a call center. Keep in mind, Ring Central, which gives you this number and this number, that's completely separate from Pat Live or Smith AI. These are call centers. Ring Central is a phone system, so it's just going to give you a number. Pat Live is also going to give you a number, but what you're going to do when they hit extension 1, the system will forward to Pat Live or would forward to Smith AI, which is another call center. There's another call center called callme.com. These are all comparable in terms of their quality. So you could have your phone call go to either one of those. That's extension 1. If they press extension 2, the voicemail will say, or press extension 2, press extension 2 if you're interested in, if we sent you an offer and you'd like to discuss that offer or accept that offer. So then they'll press extension 2 and you could forward that to a Google Voice number or a Skype number. So you might ask, okay, well, Warren, why do I want a Google Voice or a Skype? Because if you do want to call them back, I'm hearing you can call back through Ring Central, but if you don't call back through Ring Central, you don't want the seller to have your cell phone number. So you could forward it to Google Voice, and Google Voice then would ring your cell phone number. So when you call back through Google Voice, obviously they will only see your Google Voice number. They won't see your personal cell phone. All right, just a way to give you a little more protection there. So that can be extension 2. Now these are your two phones that are for sellers, people that are selling you their property. That's very important, that distinction there. All right, people that want to purchase land from you. Once someone says, "I accept your offer," you get that land under contract, then it will go on your selling site, which will deal now with the selling site phone. That's the third phone that's represented here. Notice that this number is completely separate from these other two numbers. That's what we're recommending, because these are two different markets of people. Your sellers of property, remember, they're selling you their property for pennies on the dollar, right? So this is one market of people, company phone and offer phone. Your selling site phone, these are your buyers of property. They're going to pay thousands of dollars more than you paid for that property, and they're going to buy the property from you. You don't want your sellers and your buyers mixing at any point. So we have a dedicated line. I call it my money phone. It's a black cell phone, and it's dedicated to my buyers only. I would recommend that you have such a phone as my buyer's phone, where you don't give it out to family, friends, or associates. This should be reserved only for your buyers of property. Usually I never hear my money phone ring until someone is ready to talk to me about purchasing land. And I strictly keep it like that. So that's my recommendation, and that would be your phone system. All right. And if I were to bring this up on a graph, it would look something like this. Remember, we have one phone number, two extensions. So this is local number 1. That would be comparable to this number here, right? 1 phone, 2 extensions. That's what we're highlighting here. 1 number, extension 1 and extension 2. Now, this is really all you need to get started, is to have 1 phone number, local number 1, local number 2. If they hit extension 2, it goes to your cell phone, because these are offers, remember? People that you've sent offers to. They hit extension 1, these are people that responded to a neutral letter, and they're going to be forwarded to Pat Live or Smith AI or callme.com. 1 phone number, 2 extensions. This setup here, just by itself, should run you right around $32, $33. If RingCentral tries to charge you more, which they will, that's going to be excessive, and you need to insist. We've even been telling folks to take a screenshot of this right now, even on your computer. Take a screenshot and actually send them this configuration so that they know exactly what you're looking for, and there'll be no confusion. They can also supply you with a separate number. Remember I said my money phone? They can supply you with another phone number so that you can dedicate it to your buyers of property. These are people with questions about land that you have for sale. And then you could forward it to a cell phone if you so desire. But the whole point, 1 number, 2 extensions, that's $32 a month. If you add another $5 for this second number, it should be right around $37, no more than $38 a month. And you want to make sure that they're not charging you more than that. Otherwise, you're getting hoodwinked there. Okay, so once you have your phone system set up, I want you to put in your company time zone, just like you see here. Go back to this other and see if there's any difference here. Yeah, you'll see there's more information here. Now, in my example here, you notice I did not put a selling site email, and I didn't put an offer email. That's because I don't want to keep track of multiple email inboxes. You're more than welcome to set up and dedicate an email address just for the offers. You can set up an email address just for your people that are buying property from you. I chose not to do that because when there's nothing in either one of these, offer mail or selling site email, it would automatically go to my company phone, my company email address, which is what I want. So I didn't want to keep track of multiple email addresses. All right, so that's why I didn't choose to put any in mine, but it's totally up to you. It's your business, so you can run it like that. All right, so then if you are a real estate agent or broker, please disclose that by hitting yes. And people get a little uneasy right now about putting in their social security number. You can also not put in your social, you can put in your tax ID number, whichever one. And if I select TIN, then this would be my tax ID number here. If I select social security, it's going to be my social security number. If you want to know about that, that has to do with we're asking for this kind of information because of the seller financing deals. So you're more than welcome to check out an article, say help, search our user guide, and just type in 1098. 1098 is going to tell you how to generate a 1098 document for active loans. So that's why we're requesting to have either social security number or the tax ID number, because this has to do with those loans that you might be issuing and how to give them the appropriate document at the end of the year. All right, so that's hopefully explains to you a little bit about why we're collecting social security number and TIN. But if you are an agent and you say yes, then you need to use our disclosure here. You're more than welcome to come up with your own disclosure. All right, so that's pretty much it for the company information. Once you enter this company information, just come down to the bottom here hit update site. Make sure you get the green site is updated message. That will suffice for your company information. Again, you do want this set up before you start mailing out letters, before you start doing business, and before you come to the 2.5-day workshop, so that this can be in place. So it's going to take a little thinking to get this set up, but the good news is once it's set up, you're done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, folks, that's it for the profile and under customized company information. Those are the first two of the big three. The last of the big three is setting up a buying and selling site domains. I realize on the website there are 3 domains. It looks like there's 3 different domains that you need, but you only need a buying site domain and a selling site domain. All right. And an example of a buying site domain name might be www.johnbuysland.com or www.johnbuysdirt.com. That's an example of buying. Now, for your selling site name, you need to have a little bit more, needs to be a little bit more glamorous. So you'll say something like www.choicelandforyou.com or www.paradiseland.com, something like that. Or you could put the name of your company, www.jbinvestments.com. These are examples of names, and you have to come up with one. And then we want you to configure it on the, we're recommending GoDaddy. That's our recommendation. But we already know some of you have Namecheap, some of you have REI Black Book. So, some of you had different domains that you've already purchased. What we want you to call your attention to is under Help, search our user guide, type in the words custom domains. It's going to bring up a series of articles. We want you to select this first one, how to configure your website's domain, custom domains. All right, so you just left click on that there. And it's going to say how to configure your website's domains. As I forestated, we are recommending GoDaddy, but you don't have to use GoDaddy. It's just since we're recommending it, we have instructions for it here, right? But these same instructions, even if it's not GoDaddy, have to be done on their platform. If it's REI Black Book or Namecheap, it still has to be done. But I'll show you how easy it is to register your domain and point it to our server, our Investment Dominator server. That's what we're doing right here. You must, it's very important, you point the www CNAME record to the investmentdominator.com. The way you do that is follow the steps here in this article, and it will show you step by step how to do that. So let's follow them through on GoDaddy. Going to GoDaddy.com. And as you can see here, for $11.99 per domain for a year, you could purchase, so you can purchase 2 domains for like $24, right? And you'll be all set. You can find your perfect domain. You can search for it here in this box to see if it exists, see if it's already taken. If it's not, you could call GoDaddy, purchase it for $11.99 for the first year, and you're all good to go. So one of the first things I want to do after I purchase my domain, they're going to give me, GoDaddy's going to give me a username and password. I'm going to make sure you log into GoDaddy.com using your username and password. That's what I'm going to do here. All right. Let's see. And once you sign in, oh, see, what did I do wrong here? Okay, once you sign in, it should default to My Products. But if it does not, just come up here under your name and then hit the My Products. It's basically going to show all the domains that you have available. All right. So you scroll down, and so that's what we're seeing on this screen. You log in. All right. Go to the My Products area. Scroll down, and what you're going to do, step number 3, you want to select Manage next to the domain that you want to configure. So you will have purchased 2 domains, and they should show up like this, saying that they have manage boxes next to them. So let's say I want to hit manage for this sweetlandforyou.com. All right. It's going to bring up next. All right. It's going to bring up the domain, just like you saw it bring up on my screen. The next step is we want to go into the DNS tab and select Manage Zones, just like it shows here. So under DNS, scroll down and hit the Manage Zones. Should bring up a search box, right? That's exactly what we're seeing here. Brings up a search box. The next step, want to start typing in that domain, and the domain is going to pop up, and then you want to select it. So I'm going to start typing in my domain. It pops up. I select it. And it's going to bring me to my record section here. There's multiple CNAME records, but you want to select the one that's associated with www. That's what the next steps tell you. Select the CNAME associated with www. You then want to hit or click on this pencil next to that domain. Left click there. And as you can see, there's going to be a box that comes up. Now, your box is going to look like mine here because you haven't configured this yet. It'll say, when it comes up, it's going to look like this. It's going to have an @ sign or an ampersand there in the points to area. It's going to have a host www. So you're going to change this. You're going to backspace that out, change this to investmentdominator.com. I don't know if you can see that because it's kind of small, but then you're going to change the TTL field to custom. You want to change that to custom. It's going to show up 1 hour. You change it to custom. And then you change the seconds from 3,600 seconds to 600 seconds. That's it. Then you're going to hit save. And what that's going to do, it's going to cause your points to look just like mine. For www, it's going to look like investmentdominator.com, 600 seconds. And that takes care of that step. And then you want to scroll down to the forwarding section. We're going to set up a forwarding. Now, folks, what a forwarding does, when you set up a forwarding, when people type in your domain name up here in this particular bar, they expect to go to your site. What a forwarding does, when they type in joebuysland.com, they didn't type in the www dot. So the system makes sure that www.joebuysland.com gets executed. And that's the reason for setting up a forwarding. And you want to set that up so it says www dot and whatever your domain name is. That's your forwarding. Once you set that up, you're going to hit save, as we have here. Because that's really all you have to change is the www dot and put the domain name in. Then it's going to default to permanent 301. It'll default to forward only. Defaults to update my name server, so you don't have to do anything there. Just hit save. All right, and so then your forwarding is going to look something like mine. This is where a lot of people get kind of hung up, where they don't put in the www dot and whatever the domain name is. All right, so once that's done, your next step will be to go back and do this again for the selling site. Remember, you have two different sites. So you have to come back up here, go under DNS, manage zones. Then you're going to type in your selling site name, select it. We're going to go through the same exercise again for your whatever your selling site name is. It'll come to the record section. So you basically go through this twice. Once you're done there, now we're ready to go back to the Investment Dominator side, do step number 2. You're going to map your domain. So what does that look like? We go back to Investment Dominator, under Customize, Website Settings Buying. All you're going to do, folks, is hit Change Your Domain. And we're going to enter your new buying site domain, the one you just purchased from GoDaddy. Enter it here. Then you click Yes, click Next. It should show up just like here with your domain name being correct. And you'll hit Confirm. It's going to take a few moments. Okay. All right. So as I say, we see questions coming in. Thank you for your very, very kind comments. I appreciate that. You're very welcome, Selena. I'm glad you're moving forward. And so here, now at this point, it says the domain was changed. Please use your new domain. Don't want to hit OK. Please do not hit OK. You want to click here to secure your domain. When you click to secure domain, it's going to come up to say generate SSL. Now my SSL for this domain has already been generated. So if I hit that, it's going to give me an error, right? As you see. But yours should say, you generated the SSL certificate successfully. What an SSL stands for is Secure Socket Layer. What that does, people, when you secure your sites, it puts this lock here on your sites. So when the people go into your websites, like your buying site, they see the lock on your site. If you don't have an SSL certificate, it will say not secure here. It makes customers a little nervous not having your site be secured. So you want to do this. You want to go through that process for your buying site. Same process for your selling site, right? You're going to do exactly the same thing. Under Customize, Website Settings Selling, change your domain, type in your new domain, click Yes, click Next, click Confirm, and it goes through the whole process again. Now, what's important for you to know here, let's see, we'll get rid of that. So you'll go through step 2, you'll go through it twice, once for your buying site, one for your selling site. And don't worry about this if it's a lot for you to take in right now. I'm going to show you where you can play this over and over again, all right? Where you can stop and start it. It'll have a video associated with it, and we'll take care of that right after we get done. So you want to click here to secure your domain. Put in your secure socket layer, and let's see, if you'll just let me do something here real quick, which I did not do. It will help me out. All right. So I'm going to print out a sheet here real quick. I hope it's not too noisy for you. And that will help me move along here. Okay. So basically, when you're finished, folks, your domain will not actually print here, or will not show here until you scroll to the bottom and hit update site. Okay, so you'll always have to do that for your buying site and for your selling site once you get everything all set up in your with your domains. You'll always hit update site. Okay. There it goes. Oh, 750. All right, so how do you view this again? How to replay the big three requirements. This has already been recorded, and we're going to go right back to that area. I'll show you here under help, weekly live Q&A training calls. That's where you want to go. And over here to the right where it says click here to view replays. All right, hopefully you can see that. You left click, and all you do is find a Monday date. All right, I think 325. Nope, that was not a Monday date. So maybe 329. Okay, perfect. So you can see here, what are the Investment Dominator big three requirements? There's a video over here to the right. All you do is start that video, go 4 minutes, 25 seconds in. I'm explaining to you about signature profile. Slide the bar over to 9 minutes and 20 seconds, and I'm explaining to you about company information. Slide it over to 2450, and we're discussing domains. So you can stop and start this video, and you can play it at your leisure. And so you can get this handled, even tomorrow or the next day if you're coming to the 2.5 day workshop. I think you'll find it helpful and easy to follow. If you have any issues at all, don't hesitate to call our customer service or to send a ticket in with a question, and we will get that handled for you. Also be back here on Thursday at 12 noon Pacific time. If you want to pop in and ask whatever questions you have on that, we'll get it handled for you, okay? Okay, it took us a little while to get through the big three, but those are the big three, so I want to make sure I get back here and handle any questions that you might have. Okay, and I think, Angelica, I'm hoping I answered your question on how you transfer your GoDaddy website to the Investment Dominator. Now, how to transfer GoDaddy website to Investment Dominator. So I don't know if what you're saying, Angelica, is that you already have an existing website and you now want to connect it to Investment Dominator. If that's what you're saying, oh, okay. If you're getting an error message, Angelica, it sounds like you're getting an error message that says you've already got protection. Okay, all that means, it's not a big deal, nothing to worry about. All that means is that when you did the step in Investment Dominator to secure your site, the very last step, and you wanted to get an SSL certificate, it just means that over on the GoDaddy side, you might have purchased security already. Okay, if you purchase security on GoDaddy side, which you want to make sure you folks know, you don't need to purchase any security, you don't need to purchase any other features from GoDaddy. All you need to do is spend $11.99 for the domain name only. We take care of all of that on the Investment Dominator side. But if you did purchase security, that means when you went to the step, when it said change your domain, and you click yes, click next, and then you click confirm. When you get to the step where it says, purchasing or setting up your SSL, if you purchase security on the GoDaddy side, Investment Dominator now is trying to give you another layer of security or the security layer, and you've already got it. So it's not a big deal. All you have to do is call GoDaddy and just ask them to remove that security layer, that you don't need security. And they should be able to take that off of your domain. So when you say click here to secure your domain, when you generate SSL, that's why you're getting that message. So folks, we try to make sure before you go there, I'm sorry if any of you have had, deal with this. We try to make sure before you go to GoDaddy, you don't need to generate any, you don't need to purchase any additional security. But they kind of automatically give it to you if you don't specify, no, I don't need any security. I only want the domain name. So anyway, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. But at least it won't take you long to get it changed. Okay. Okay. Error generating SSL. But the good thing there, Angelica, is that you're ahead of the game. I mean, you've been working to get it done, and that's very good. We appreciate that. So hopefully they'll make your life easier and reverse it. Okay. Okay, so Alexander is asking how to create profile for his wife. Okay. Create a profile for the wife. Well, we can show you how to do that very quickly here, Alexander. If you have another person, now I just want to call your attention to this top line up here. All right, the address. This is the address of on your computer. This particular account number here, this CRM dash whatever number you have here, you have a unique, each of you have a unique account number. This is your account. So for this account, if you're going to have multiple users, you would come up here under team. And Alexander, either you have a login right now or somebody has a login, but you come up here under team and just come over here to add user. And that's what you want to do. You want to add user. Once you add user, make sure she's an admin and just put in her first name, last name, email address, which has to be different from yours, phone number, and give her a username. Whatever you want to give her. It tries to default to your email address. So if I type in here, let's say A Spence at gmail.com. But first, let me type in a name, put a name. So Alan Spence, email A Spence at gmail.com. And then I type in some phone number. Now you notice, as soon as I typed in that email address, it typed in a username. It used my email address for my username. If you don't want it to be that, you're welcome to come and change this to, A Spence 01, right? Or something like that. So you can overwrite that as a username, and we've done that ourselves, and then put in a password. And then here is where you're going to set your security, right, for your wife. Now, if she's an equal partner in the business, just leave everything yes. Make your life easy, right? Leave everything yes, and then just say finish and add user. Once you do that, then when you come over to the profile section, right, what you want to do is you want to log out and log back in as your wife. So whatever under the team, whatever username you gave her and password, just log out and you'll see that it will keep your same account and log in here as your wife. And so then when she signs in, you know, whatever she signs in as, then in the tour, come up here under her profile once she's logged in, right? And set her signature. That's all you do. Okay. That's how you set up a profile for your wife and keep her happy at the same time, right? So let's see another question. Let's see. Let's see, Warren, can you tell me exactly what site are you logged on to? I'm watching the class, just catching up. Okay, Sharif, I'm not sure what site I was on, but if yeah, I might have been on the GoDaddy.com. So if I come over here and I sign out, just want you to know. So that's GoDaddy.com. That's the site I might have been on when you got in. All right, I'm hoping that's the site I was on. That's the only other site I've gone on. What site showed? And this is where we configure our domains. Configuration of buying, selling, site, domains. And folks, really, don't worry about if this seems kind of overwhelming at first, getting set up is always a little challenging. Don't worry about that. You'll get it, all right? And we definitely are going to help you get it, and you'll get it, and you'll find out it's much easier than it looks. It's if you go back and you watch the live training and just click on the video and stop whenever you want, you'll get it down, okay? So please don't get too stressed about it. It will work out just fine. So Selena, the 20, this one's 58. So Selena had a question about, do I have to build also a website for my own company? No, you do not. Do you have to build a website for your own company? No, you do not have to do that at all. Some people already have an existing website, like before they came to LPG, they have a site that they've been using. But Investment Dominator, once you purchase Investment Dominator, we give you a buying site. This is a site where sellers can come on and say, okay, hey, I want to sell you my land for cash. So they'll left click and they'll come in here and start putting in their information, right? And once they put in their information, like if I were to put in and some phone number, and I don't have a reference number. Okay, so we put that in here. We just click next. So then it brings them into this contact information, so they can put all of their appropriate contact information. They can put everything about their property. Finish, and it creates an offer request. So this is where the seller, this is one site where the seller can enter all their information. That's what we call your buying site, where you buy property from other people. The other place where you other site is going to be your selling site. It's going to start off with this opt-in page. So these are two sites where they put in their first name, last name. Remember, this opt-in, this selling site is land that you have under contract where people are going to sell you, they're going to buy land from you. They'll put in their first name, last name, email address, and they get to see all the deals, which simply look like they show up on your selling site. So these are two sites that you get for free with Investment Dominator. There's no need to build your own site. So I'm hoping that answers your question straight up, that don't have to worry about doing that. That's a lot of extra work that we try to save you there. Okay, Syed was asking, is the $33, is that just for one number with two extensions? Yes, that's it. That's the first part I showed you. Okay, for $33, one number, one local number, two extensions, extension 1, extension 2. This side right here shouldn't cost you more than $32. If you add the second local number, which would be dedicated to your buyers, that's another $5 or so. So it could be like $37. That's it. So good question, Saeed. The $32, you said 33. Is that just for one number and two extensions? That is correct. I have to write down all my questions here each week so I can get you guys all fixed up. Okay, let's see if there's another one I can answer here before we. Okay, so Angelica, okay, okay, Alexander, I'm gonna see if I can explain all of my abbreviations. Okay, just want to make sure you folks know that I hate to confuse people on that. Under customize, when I had all of my abbreviations, all of this information here, this is not going to be the way yours is going to look. All right, yours is going to look like that, just with a phone number, one phone number. You won't have this extension 2, you won't have any of this information, and you don't want any of that information because that will actually print out if you have that on your offers, if you have all this extra information. I just use that so that I can explain what the different extensions are, right? So no, you won't need any of that information. All right. Let's see this. Okay. Okay, Warren, real quick here from Burned. I've uploaded my signature and I see it also in my profile. However, I do not see the signature on my blind offer letter. Oh, okay. No, your signature will not print out on any of your offers. Your signature does not print out. So when you have your signature in this profile, this is only going to print out on your neutral letters because that's the first communication that goes out. When you print out an offer, either a blind offer or a regular offer, that's going to be left blank. That's for you to actually give them a real signature, not a generated signature. I recommend that you print that off and sign. So no, your signature will never be on your blind offer letter. Good question, Bern. That's a good question. Okay. Uploaded a signature. And that's about all we have time for today, folks. Sorry that we're running out of time here. Just want to leave this thought with you today. Now, this is a Langston Hughes quote. All right. Though you may hear me holler and you may see me cry, I'll be dogged, sweet baby, if you ever see me die. I kind of like that. Kind of has a nice flow. Though you may hear me holler and you may see me cry. I'll be dog sweet, baby, if you ever see me die. So don't give up, folks. Langston Hughes, that's a good quote. And I guarantee you, if you just continue to work the business, if you have a coach, if you work the business the way your coach states, get in line and stay in line, as Jack always tells us, you will be successful. You will see success. It may take a few months, for you to get things going, but hang in there. Don't give up. And we'll be, talking about you guys over the airways and your great deals. Have a great evening, everybody, and hope you have a great week. We'll be back here Thursday, 12 noon Pacific time, to get all your questions answered. Take care now. Bye bye.